Any update you can provide on Armstead? Is it a serious situation?
No, just a vet day. He had a big workload during in that Baltimore game. The things we're asking him to do, just give him a little day off.
Okay.
So there's no concern he misses Sunday?
No.
He's obviously had a great season for you, Robert. What does he mean to the pass rush and the overall defensive front?
You know, he's probably he's one of the most violent defensive linemen in football. I mean, the knockback he creates, especially when he's matched up on a tight end. In that Baltimore game, we were able to put him in basically an equivalent of a 6 technique over an offensive tackle. He's very versatile. He's got great pocket push in the pocket, so he means a lot, man. He's kind of the glue that puts all of this together, and it's between all of them. They've all got a unique skill set that kind of helps them all work together, you know.
Robert, it seems like the Saints are 10-2. They're doing plenty of things right, but it seems like their offense hasn't fully clicked like they had in previous seasons. I don't know if you agree with that assessment, but if so, are you wary? Like, I hope it's not this week.
You know, I still see the same stuff on offense. I still believe that they're still an explosive offense. Obviously, they went. You know, Drew Brees missed a pocket of games there, and they're transitioning back into it. But I mean, they're still putting up. They're still getting a lot of yards. They're still putting up points. I know they had the one bad game against Atlanta, but other than that, they've been putting up yards and points, and they're still going to be a very difficult challenge to keep at bay.
What is it about Michael Thomas that makes him so tough to stop, slow down?
He's big. His foot speed and his and quickness is up there. It's pretty elite, but he's so strong at the point of attack to catch the football. You know, he's just an all-around receiver, savvy route runner, and just a lot of respect for him. Got great hands, and he does well after the catch too. So he's a problem. They obviously try to get him the ball, and we got to do our best. Our 11 got to try to stop him. So.
I didn't play him last year, but have you seen him kind of become more of a focal point? I know Kamara also has been banged up a little bit, but it seems like he's kind of become the centerpiece now.
Yeah, he's obviously a focal point. Anytime you got a superstar like that, and same thing with Kamara, they do a good job getting those guys to football and making sure that they're always active within the offense. And so it's our responsibility. We got to find out where they are at all times and just do our best to maintain it. So,
what's it say about their chemistry? The fact that Brees completes such a high percentage of his passes, his targets to Thomas.
Brees is very efficient. Obviously, he can recognize coverage in a heartbeat, and he gets the ball out faster than anyone in football, I believe. I mean, he's up there anyway. But he's always been efficient, and as far as completion percentage with Thomas, I'm not sure exactly what his individual completion percentage is with him, but I do know that those guys have a great connection, and they work very well together.
I think it's 83%.
Is it 83? Jeez.
83.7.
No, it's really high. So, but it just feels like with Drew, he's got a high completion percentage with everybody, man. He's one of the best, though.
They've added the Taysom Hill element to their offense. I mean, what does that challenge pose? I mean, it seems like it's a real switch up from when Brees is there.
Yeah, he's. I mean, they put him at tight end, they put him at receiver, running back, quarterback, and you know, he's not just a decoy. You know, they get him involved, they give him the ball, even as a receiver. He blocks his tail off. Got a lot of respect for him, the way he plays and the effort and the standard that he plays with. So we do have to be aware of where he is when he's on and off the field, and of course, obviously, not panicking, but making sure we do have a plan for him. So.
Do you have to account, have X amount of plays during the week, with him in mind in practice to prepare?
Yeah, you do. You've got all those walkthrough reps. I mean, throughout the week with walkthrough and practice and all that, I think we cover, for every team that we play, we pretty much cover everything. Almost everything, as much as you can anyway. So obviously he is a big focal point of their offense and something that we do have to cover, but at the same time not something that I feel like we have to panic over either. So
does he have his own look team guy playing him this week?
No, not this week.
Fred Warner, obviously the defensive player of the month. There was interesting last week. John Harbaugh said some teams didn't think he was going to be a drafted guy. Obviously, you guys thought that, made that happen. I mean, but coming out of college, was he uniquely, suited for your scheme, or can you just discuss why maybe some others didn't view him in the same light?
You know, for one of the things that we take pride in with our scheme, and I think I can speak for the offense too, when you've got so much conviction over what you're running as a organization in terms of what that scheme is, you can easily identify what guys fit and what guys don't. And when it came to Fred, the conversations we had at the Combine, I know I've told you all before that I thought he was probably the smartest Combine interview I've ever had. And then you combine what you see on tape, and you could just see where he could fit and how the angles and the different positions that he was put in as a college player, how they transitioned to the NFL and how they transitioned to what we asked him to do. There was no doubt in our mind, which is why we took him in the third round, that he would end up being a really good football player for us. So pleased with where he is, and he'll even admit it, he can get even better. He's only his second year in the league, and he still has a lot more. I mean, he's going to grow into his own. He's going to become more of a man, and he's going to be even more vocal. And by man, I mean strength. And so excited for where he's going in his career.
How much did Quan Alexander affect his growth this year?
Quan's still here, you know. So Quan is a fantastic leader. He's been everything that we could possibly hope for. I hate that he's not with us on the football field, but he's here on this trip when he didn't have to be. He's at every meeting when he didn't have to be, and just having that veteran presence, that energy on the sideline, and he's there with Fred and just talking through stuff. So it's priceless for Quan.
How much does what he does pre-snap put him in position to make more splash plays maybe that he wasn't making last year?
With Fred?
Yeah.
Well, as a Mike linebacker, when you're the balance for us as coaches and Mike linebacker, because he's so smart, you want to give him more. But like any player, the more you give, the slower they go. And so we always try to balance off so that to try to eliminate as much as we can from him, so he can just go line up and play. Because one of his greatest strengths is he can identify formations, tendencies, and down distance situations. Just he can pick up indicators quicker than most people can. So to take away some of the stuff from him is really more the challenge than giving him more, if that makes sense.
So what do you think has led to the increase in splash plays that he's made?
We've taken a lot off his plate so he can just go line up and play. Putting more of the onus on making sure that guys more line up, go play. When we were playing some of those read option teams, the Arizona teams, we're asking him to make a lot of checks to see if he can get us in the perfect defense. And while he's busy trying to do that, he's not able to focus on his job. And even though he was getting everyone lined up and everything was perfect, it's just not fair for him. So to take a little bit off his plate so he can go ahead and go play, I think that's really been helping.
Is that put more on the plate of the other linebackers, the
No,
rookies?
because again, it comes back to us to make sure that the defense understands and just try to make it as easy as possible so they can go play. And that all comes back to us too as coaches. And so we put the onus on everybody to make sure that we can go do that.
You're obviously very close to Tim Ryan. So what was your reaction yesterday when you found out his comment and the suspension?
With Tim, I've always, as a human being, try to judge people on how I interact with them, and I love the man. He's a very genuine human being, and I know he knows he made a mistake, and he's just trying to move this on as quickly as possible. So.
Thank you. Yep.